Hey guys, FinallyHeSleeps here. I'm back at home in my normal studio. It was a long trip, but I didn't miss out on treasure hunt while I was gone. Like most hardcore players, I've been grinding constantly. Latest update has fixed the ad issues for most, if not all, users, so we're able to watch videos until our eyeballs fall out. With all the grinding and playing treasure hunt Amazon, you've had plenty of chances at the Temple of Doom. That's what we're going to discuss today. But first, make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and share. Don't forget to check out FinallyHeSleeps.com, where I'm constantly posting all the stuff that's either too important to take the time to make a video for or just quicker to put into a short post. There's other stuff there too, like market tips, investment strategies, and more. Alright, back to the task at hand. The new Temple tab in the Amazon Treasure Hunt event is a mathematical puzzle that is random for each player each time you start it over. There are no known cheats. The combinations are, like I said, random. There are, however, ways to make it far less complicated. And an understanding of how it works and what it takes are a great way to start. Okay, there are 7 different gemstones that fit into 3 different spots. You need to figure out which 3 gemstones fit and into what order. You guys have been playing this for a week now already. You should understand that by now. Mathematically, there are 210 different possible combinations. Once you get a stone in the correct spot, though, it sticks and stays. That means, if you do it correctly, you'll never need more than 7 treasure stones to unlock the boost. Unfortunately, even if you get 2 stones correct in your first attempt, it can still take 4 more tries before you unlock the treasure. Expect to use at least 5 treasure stones every time you want to unlock the treasure. Fewer than 5 and you're making ground. The best strategy is to wait until you have 7 treasure stones before attempting to unlock the chest, though. That way you can easily sit down on paper and pen to keep track of your combinations without losing your place. Once you have 7 treasure stones in reserve, start with the sapphire at 11 o'clock in the first spot, the emerald at 1 o'clock in the second spot, and the amethyst at 3 o'clock in the third spot. I use this for my first attempt each and every time. What you're going to do is move clockwise around the stones, shifting 1 spot for each stone on each attempt. The second attempt would then be emerald, amethyst, and quartz. Once a stone is chosen in its correct spot, just skip over it, but keep the same strategy. Third would be amethyst, quartz, citrine, and so on, just shifting 1 for each turn. Once you get around to ruby for the next turn, come back up to the include sapphire. Those 7 shifts around the pattern will give you each and every stone in all 3 of the spots. Worst case scenario. You're probably saying, that's common sense, and honestly it really is. But you'd be surprised how many people are going into this. I've talked to people who think there's a pattern to it, others who feel that by going at it all random, you get a better chance at hitting the correct code. Guess what? Math is a constant. This is where odds and probability are confused. More so for some people, probably versus probability. Look at the lottery, for example. The odds that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 will come up is the exact same as any other random group of 6 numbers. Looking for order out of the chaos is what drives mathematicians to thinking they've discovered the secrets of the universe in a 216-digit variation of pi. And I'm not talking about the apple kind. The odds for this game start at 1 in 210 for the first time you throw gemstones into the spots. The odds change each round thereafter, depending upon which round you got 1 or 2 of the gemstones correct. Okay, here's the full probabilities breakdown because EA didn't give this to you. This should explain how difficult it is to guess correctly sooner rather than later, and why using a pattern to drop in the stones is most effective way to the final solution in as few attempts as possible without screwing it up. So if you look at this, for the first try you have a 0.48% chance of guessing all the 3 correct. Moving into the second try, if you had 0 correct in that first try, you now have a 0.83% chance of guessing all 3 correct. 5% chance if you had 1 correct in the first try, 25% chance if you had 2 correct in that first try. Now the third attempt is where things start to get interesting. If you still have 0 correct after going into this third round, you only have a 1.66% chance of getting all 3 correct. The variations on the probability for 1 or 2 correct on the third through the 6th chances comes from whether or not you got those correct in which round prior. If you got 1 correct in the first round as compared to only getting 1 correct in the second round, you had more opportunities to try additional gemstones in additional spots. That's why the odds change. Jump down to the 5th and notice that there's a 16.7% chance of getting all 3 correct if you had 0 correct after round 4, or if you only had 1 correct and it didn't come until the last round. So if you had 2 correct in the first round, however, by the 5th round, you're guaranteed at getting all right. Okay. If you follow the pattern and never give up on a space, by the 7th attempt, no matter what you do, you're guaranteed with unlocking the prize. It's math. It's unforgiving, it's rigid, and it's constant. Even with the above pattern, though, it's best to write down what you're trying to so you can see how it's panning out as you go through your treasure stones. And that way, if you do lose your place or if it crashes, you don't get lost. You have a chart to go by. And here's the chart I use for this. Now, how I do it is I cross out the positions as I place the stones in them. Once a stone is in the correct spot, I just cross out the other 2 positions for that stone and that position for all the other stones. This will help you make sure you never try a stone in the same spot you've already tried. I'm going to run through an attempt at the treasure stones so you can see how this works. Okay, we're starting out with the standard sapphire, emerald, and amethyst. I'm showing at the same time how I fill out the chart here so you can see. First attempt, and well, shit. That doesn't help me explain much. Okay, it's good for me, bad for the video. Anyway, we fill in the rest of the card, Xing out all the first spaces, second spaces, and the rest of sapphire and emerald. Going back to the probability chart, since this resulted in 2 correct in the first attempt, the odds for getting the third one correct in the second turn is now 1 in 4, or a 25% chance. We'll move around clockwise, throw quartz in, and just see what happens. And look at that. 2 attempts was all it took, which leaves me 5 treasure stones in reserve. Now normally I'd go back to grinding until I bumped that back up to 7, but for the sake of this video, I'm going to go ahead and start fresh to hopefully better explain this method. Again, I'm starting out with a standard 3 gemstones, sapphire, emerald, and amethyst. I'm also showing the chart so you can see how I keep track as I go through. First attempt gave 0 correct, so I move around clockwise. Second attempt resulted in 1 correct in the second spot, so I'll update the chart. And keep moving around clockwise, just skipping over that second spot. Just keep filling out the chart and moving to the next attempt. Okay, 5 attempts in, and I'm still only looking at that middle stone in place. We'll stop there for a second because, okay, I have to go back and farm a couple more treasure stones. Okay, back for the 6th attempt, and we can already guarantee that we have the first spot. It's 50-50 on the 3rd spot. And alas, it's going to take all 7 attempts for this treasure chest. See, that worked out. We had 2 very different results, though, using the same method, and that's it in a nutshell. There's no advantage to randomness on this event. Trust the numbers, follow the math, and be smart. Treasure hunt. Still another week before it ends. Get in all that grinding you can. What's next, we can only speculate. Me, I'm really hoping for a trilogy. Treasure hunt, Middle East, or Mediterranean, or maybe even Egypt, with the temple swapped out for a tomb or a catacomb, bringing the whole Indiana Jones theme full circle. If they do go for another 2 weeks with this thing, though, I hope the last chapter is without the grind and the coins and the player drops. They need to either slow or stop altogether. It's bad enough right now with the sugar high we've been on for the last month that once this does come to an end, the game is going to feel like, to us, the way the second week of January does to an 8-year-old. All the anticipation and excitement of the holidays and the new year, presents, family, drama, food, everything, and then poof, you're back to school with nothing to look forward to except Valentine's Day without a girlfriend and a day where you get pinched if you forget to wear green. That's going to be FIFA Mobile if EA doesn't let us down easy. A 3rd chapter that slowly releases us back into the wild of the game in its standard form is the smart move. Otherwise, players are going to zone out and start looking for Pokemon gems again. Sorry, I'm rambling. Treasure hunt Amazon. 1 week left. As long as you keep watching, I'll keep making videos. Thanks for watching. Maybe check out one of these other videos next. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. Visit my site, FinallyHeSleeps.com, for daily posts about FIFA Mobile and other various brain vomit. Plus, if you get really bored, you can find merchandise and my latest comedy album, Life Before the Internet, at the links below. Like, down at the bottom, those links.